welcome to In the Now with Jim Swilley. There's a song that John Legend wrote actually in 2013. Beautiful love song. It says, "All of me loves all of you." I could have read you the lyrics, but I think you're probably, unless you've been under a rock, you're probably familiar with it. They've even got a dance version to it. In an earlier episode today, you made reference to 2 Corinthians 5, where it said, we were talking about Jesus, and you said, you talked about Paul saying we no longer know him after the flesh, and that's why we don't know each other after the flesh. Now, I did an episode earlier today talking about coming out and dealing with sexual orientation. Coming out is a bigger topic than just about that. There's all kind of things. Like, I know there was a time there were certain things that I believed, but I couldn't preach them. Because I thought, man, if I preach that, it's going to cost me. Now I don't feel that way. Now, as soon as I get it, I preach it. So we're entering into a place of freedom where I really can know everything about you, and there's nothing about you that's a deal breaker. I already have chosen to love you unconditionally, and let me qualify that. The term unconditional love nearly sounds a little insulting to me, because it's like saying, you know, you're basically reprehensible to me, but because I believe in the concept of, I wouldn't believe that people love me because I'm lovable. Paul said something that I don't agree with. He said, "In my flesh dwells no good thing." I don't agree with that statement. To say, "In my flesh dwells no good thing," I don't even think Paul really believed that. I think that was a very grandiose statement. If I believed in my flesh dwelt no good thing, I would say, watch your purse. Don't leave it along me, because I could rob you. Don't leave your kids with me. I could possibly be a child molester. I mean, to say there's no redeeming value in myself, that's just not right. And I think in the church we've taught so much about the utter depravity of man. There's nothing good about me. I'm only accepted in Christ. What it's done is it's created a generation of people that don't have integrity. They don't know how to just be good people because they've been taught there's nothing good in me. It's all Jesus. Well, I don't believe that. I believe that we're in Christ, but I believe we have things in our personality that also validate us as well. Here's the thesis of what I want to talk about. Can I know all of you? Can you know all of me? Can we still love each other? Is that just a concept? Are we the prototypes of that? Probably if we talked about what we really believed, I'm sure I'd find something that you believe that I'd be like, I probably don't really go with you on that, but it's not a deal breaker. What is your take on that? What's your feel for it? What do you say, Doc?
Whoa.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If we look into the realm of, before I became a word out of the mouth of God, I was a thought in the realm of the Spirit.
Wow.
And the thought in the realm of the Spirit became a word in the mouth of God that released it into the earth realm, which is me, which is you, which is everybody. And if I could see everybody as a word, how can you not love the Word of God?
And there may be something in, if you're going to follow that analogy, I'm in a sentence and the sentence doesn't make sense. I need one more word. You're that word. And when we're both in that sentence, now we're making a part of the paragraph, which is part of the page, which to me is what John saw when he saw the book of life.
Right.
The book of life was not a thing to decide who's going to heaven or hell. It's the book that we're writing of our lives. And as we talked about earlier, we're creating it as we go.
Right.
What you think?
Well, it's funny. Sometimes I see things a little bit differently. When you brought up.
No, you have to see it my way.
Well, no. When you said, in my flesh there's no good thing, and other scriptures say the flesh profits nothing.
Right.
Everybody's waiting for the Superman, so we can come out of the ground and we can be superheroes and phase through walls and everything else. But the outward man perishes; it's the inward man that renews day by day. But see, I see the word flesh. I don't see it as the literal flesh and bone. I see it as the lies that actually make us reprehensible to society. The lies that we've been that dust that I was talking about earlier, the lies where you were told that you're not a good person, that you're going to amount to nothing, and so you go and you rob a bank because that's who you believe you are. But that's not who you are. that's the flesh, and that thing's going to be cast off. The flesh profits nothing. The lies, that's not what matters. What matters is the truth. What matters is the hope and the passion and the love that you have within you. Because deep down, everyone loves, but we've been told for so long that we're no good. Brainwashed to hate ourselves.
From the pulpit.
From the
And people
pulpit.
go back week after week and get a steady diet of it.
And it's like in this conditioning, it takes a while to let it go. It's not like it happens overnight. So this whole thing with, you just say Jesus is Lord and you're born again. No, you're not born again. To be born again means you are a new creation. It's like people ask me, "Are you born again?" Sometimes I say, "I feel like I'm just pregnant. I'm crowning." It's like I'm in progression, but who I am already is who has always been, and it's kind of like just getting rid of the idea of who I think I am. This is not who I am. I'm not this concept you have of me, or this concept that my mother taught me, or
That's not me.
I am much more than that. I am that I am, which means I will be whatever I will be, which is why people do great things like yourself, and then people do terrible things like,
And it's the potentials in everybody. It's like, remember when Jesus said, one of you is going to deny me and one of you is going to betray me? They all said, is it me? Meaning, they have considered the possibility. If they never thought about it, they wouldn't have said, is it me? I was thinking about when Church in the Now was big, we had a ministry called Street Jam, and we would go into the housing authorities. And I remember Scott Pettit telling me one time, when some of the kids, these kids were difficult kids. And you talk about at-risk kids, they definitely were. And he said he learned early on that the ones that were considered the most incorrigible, there was no point in telling them that because they'd already been told that so many times. So what he would do is he would give them a staff t-shirt. And he'd say, you're part of my staff, I need you to help me pass out the candy or whatever. And he said immediately it changed their behavior.
And that was more giving them access and somewhat responsibility and inviting them in with an acceptance is greater and stronger than leading them in a sinner's prayer and saying, now pray with me, repeat after me, Jesus died, Jesus. And the thing is, Jesus did die and raised from the dead and saved us, but salvation is different than being born again. Born again, like you said, is a process. And we deal with it every single day of our lives. And in that process of being born again, we're shedding off that old mindset and becoming new. We're gaining the mind of Christ. And the mind of Christ puts us in a level to where we don't, I can't stand these songs where we come into church and we're like, I'm not worthy, you're better than me, and like, I'm nothing without you. It's like we beat ourselves down so much that, number one, we take no responsibility for our lives, and number two, we take no credit for our lives. Because we take no responsibility because we blame everything on Satan, a little red horn thing flying around. Oh, well, devil made me do it. That's why I robbed the bank. That's why I raped so-and-so. That's why I stole someone's car. And then we get no credit. I worked my butt off, but no, that wasn't me. That was God. God did that. And what happens is it's a little bit of both. It's like, yeah, God helped us, but it's also, and sometimes the enemy can be your own thoughts, but at the end of the day, it's you. Like, you're either going to be your demise or you're going to be your greatest hero.
This is my son. If I introduce you to my son, Judah, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. What say you, Lonna? Because you're this is something that you talk about a lot, what we're talking about right now.
To me, being real and it's being transparent, not having to hide anything, and that just takes a big risk. It's very risky. So you can't do it with everyone and be that way in front of everyone, and it's like you get a few people and not that many, that are worthy of seeing the depth and being able to see into you.
Right.
So I don't go putting it out there for everybody.
Yeah, well, you got to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, but there's no fear in love. Perfect love casts out fear. One thing I thought this really, and this is not off topic, this factors into it, but a few weeks ago, Dr. Martin and his wife Frances took Ken and me out to dinner. And you were leaving like the next day to go, because you have was it Bible school in Nigeria? Or it's an
Yeah.
And I asked him, because you're extremely progressive, and I said, when you go to Africa, do you teach the same way? And you said yes. I thought that was very interesting, because sometimes when you go, I've done ministry in third world nations, and you're like, they are not ready for this. You know what I mean? You really are, you minister honestly. That's very interesting to me. So your message is received over there like it's received here?
Well, one of the reasons why is because the pastor there has been a son and a disciple for 25 years I've been going. Been there 38 times, 25 years. And he absolutely believed that if it comes out of my mouth, it's God. Ain't no question. So what, I'm not saying that's good or bad, that could be,
It just
go
is.
with it is. We take it slow. It's like I tell them all the time, it's like teaching children to swim. Now I know the old concept is take them to the deep end, throw them in. That's a bunch of bull.
They can drown.
Yeah.
They can drown. I tell everybody.
Or be traumatized.
Yeah, you're right. Never want to go
Yeah. So we hold their hands, and Jesus taught the people as they was able to receive it.
Yeah.
He didn't go beyond that limit.
I have many things to tell you, but you can't bear them now.
You can't bear them now. So what I do, I don't get freaked out because in the beginning they were looking for a rapture any minute. Don't try to correct them. You can lead them into deepness without telling them we're going out in the deep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I used to do with my grandchildren. Just hold them. Now we're gonna go out there where it's deep at. Pray I don't fall and drown you. And don't scare the daylight. Just play with them. And next thing you know, they're out there having a good time. You take a person who knows how to swim, they're a real good swimmer. Don't tell them they're gonna swim in the shallow water. They don't like it. It's not fun. They only have fun out in the deep water.
Yeah.
And that's learned behavior. So that's what we do. For instance, one thing, my pastor's really got a degree from London in physics, has a doctorate degree in physics. And so he's more, I present the steak, I let him cook it
Gotcha.
and present it to his children. You see what I'm saying? I cook the steak, I give him the steak.
Do you know, it's interesting you use that analogy, but Metron is not a church, but I still refer to it, you said event, and I do like event, but I also will call it a service sometimes because I am serving them. And I say, look, I don't require that you agree with everything I say. It's like if I were a caterer and I put out this big smorgasbord, I don't expect you to eat everything, but I can tell you, you will find something to eat and you will not leave hungry. You will go and say, I like that, I want some extra of that or whatever. So really, my responsibility is to put on an apron and say, what can I serve you? And even you mentioned rapture, and then I'll hear from Tony, but I used to say for years, and I used to disarm my audience this way, I would say, I believe in a pre-tribulation rapture of the church. And people would be like, oh wow, I'm surprised. And I'd say, now if that doesn't happen, I believe in a mid-tribulation rapture of the church. If that doesn't happen, I believe in a post-tribulation rapture of the church. If that doesn't happen, I believe that Jesus will return to the earth in bodily form. If that doesn't happen, I believe that there will be a cosmic paradigm shift where everybody on the earth eventually will see him, and it will be the fulfillment of the prophets of old saying, no longer will they say, know the Lord, for they will all know him, from the greatest to the least. The covenant will not be written on tablets of stone or on paper. It'll be written on the tablets of the heart.
Cover all the bases.
Which is what I really believe.
Sure.
But I have to walk them through their comfort zone, because there's people say, don't take my rapture away. Yeah. What was it? I want to hear from Tony, but what was it? One time, Robert, you told me it wasn't a joke. It was some church you were at, and there was an old guy that disagreed with what they were preaching, and he said, please tell me you remember this. He said, they took away my rapture, they took away my something. He said, I'll be damned if they're going to take my hell away from you. Something like that. What was it? Am I quoting it wrong?
What I want to kind of tie a little bit of what Lonna was just saying and Doc and what you were just saying. In Ezekiel, I can't remember if it's 37 or chapter 47, Ezekiel had a vision, and he stepped out into the ankle deep water, went up to the knees and to the loins. And that's what we have to do as a church in being real, because sometimes we just throw the bone out there and they get choked on it. So we have to ease them into the realness, because sometimes we throw the real stuff out, they leave the church, and we lose them altogether.
Well, I have learned this the hard way. People love transparency. They don't want full frontal nudity. You know what I mean? It's like they don't want to know it all.
Yeah.
So I've learned this about, and I'm using that symbolically, but like I learned this a long time ago, even as a leader. There were times when I felt like I was just going to give up, and I thought, I can't tell them that because they need to believe that I still believe in this vision.
Right.
And one of the pastors that I cover, he pastors out in Texas. 2 Saturday nights ago, he called me and he said, I need to talk to you. He said, he's got, I don't know, 30, 35 people. He said, I'm so tired of begging people to get involved. I'm so tired of begging people to give. You know, I just can't get people to get on board. He said, I'm going in tomorrow and I'm just going to say, you either get in or get out. And if you're not committed, I said, I'm so happy you called me because please shut that down right now. He said, really? I said, I'm telling you by experience, you go in there and have a temper tantrum, and they may even agree with you, but it's not going to produce any good results.
That's right.
You've got to go in there and thank them for taking time out of their schedule to be part of your vision. I can't do this without you. You've got to motivate them. You can't, because they don't have to come to church, and a lot of them are already getting beat up at work all day long. They don't need to come to church and hear it one more time. So yes, the servant of the Lord must not strive, must be, what is it?
They got to feel a part.
Rebuke, reprove, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not beating somebody down. You've got to say, even the parts of you that I would like to improve, I still love all of you. All of me loves all of you.
Yeah.
What you got?
I got to tell you, it's funny because I don't listen. You got to meet people where they're at, and you can't. You understand some people when they start talking, you say, "Oh, okay, so I know where I can go with you and where I can't go." Because I don't want, I'm long past the days where you got to believe what I believe.
Right.
I don't need to prove it. I can prove it, but it wouldn't matter. Like the rapture, for example. I've many times brought people through it, and it's the first Adam and the last Adam. Okay, the Cain and the Abel, the Ishmael and the Isaac. There's 2 men in one bed. One is taken, one is left. It's about getting rid of the old and into the new. But these wounds that you've received and I've received and we've all received, they are there to show to people, but they're there specifically for the people that need to see them. Like it's funny, some of the things I share about my past that you would think, I'd be so ashamed of. I have no problem sharing with someone who needs to hear it at that moment.
Right.
And I think that we need to be open and not care. Because in the grand scheme of things, this is not who I am. That's what I've been through.
Right.
Who I am is not ashamed anymore. I'm no longer outside of the garden toiling, with the sweat on my brow and, hating life. I'm back in the garden and I'm not ashamed
Don't
anymore.
you think that was, I'll have you next, but don't you think that's the reason why even in his glorified body, Jesus maintained his wounds?
Oh, yeah.
And Thomas said, unless I can feel your wounds, I won't believe you. And he said, okay, fine.
Yeah,
and so I think we are healed, but yeah, we still have wounds as a point of reference. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just to touch on your point. The wounds is what is going to heal somebody else. Like somebody's pain can relate to your pain.
Right.
And if you're going to be an effective communicator or an effective chef, if you will, then you will serve meat and milk. And sometimes milk is the most powerful thing in that moment. Like instead of like sometimes a scripture is awesome for somebody, and sometimes looking at somebody and just saying, "Wow, this sucks." And I feel you, and I've been there before, and I love you, and I'm going to hold you through this. When you say that, sometimes that's more powerful than saying, "Well, Romans 8:9." It's like so. The point is, Jesus kept his wounds because the wounds will heal. The wounds that you have, if you share it with the world, and sometimes it's hard for us to because we want to make ourselves look so strong, and we are not weak, and we are this and that. And if we allow ourselves to show a weak moment and say it's okay, we're human too, I think people will be set free.
That's last night we were talking about Jacob wrestling with the Lord, and he walks away with a limp. It's interesting how many people they went through the process, but there was a reminder of the battle, and that it's not.
I got them.
And that it's not bad. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
what was that? It was one of those Lethal Weapon series where Mel Gibson was showing his scars to the woman cop, and they were comparing scars. They were like topping each other's stories. Well, I got this one. A guy shot me, or whatever. And we all kind of have those. Not that we're feeling sorry for ourselves. It's like you could say to somebody, you know what, you're going to get through this. I went through it. I got to the other side. You're going to be fine.
Didn't Isaiah, was it in Isaiah that said, it's in the blueness of the wound that bring the cleansing of the soul?
Wow.
What did Isaiah say that, Jacob? It said the blueness of the wound. Well, everybody
Who
knows
was
that.
it?
Solomon.
Solomon. The blueness of the wound bring the cleansing of the soul.
Cleanses the untapped.
Well, the blueness of a wound is the sign of a deep, deep tissue bruise
Right.
in the muscles.
In the medical field, it's also called a portal of entry. That's
A what?
A portal of entry.
Portal of
Nothing
entry.
could get in or out without.
Wow.
So you have to beware of it for infection control. You know, you don't want bad stuff getting in, but at the same, and it's just a door. And so what you're always open instead of being closed down and shut off. Any kind of wound opens you up.
So when Paul said, I die daily, and then 15 years later wrote to Galatia and said, I am crucified, no longer I live. 15 years of dying daily. Left a lot of wounds.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Left a lot of wounds.
And he remembered it. You know, he could tell you I was in shipwreck, I was this, I was that, whatever. Well, I can tell you this: all of me loves all of you, and it means a lot to me that you're a part of this today. I could not do this without you. You got anything else, Robert, before we go? Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of In the Now with Jim Swilley.